to call the July 19, 2016 meeting of the Board of Education to order, and we will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, looking for approval of the agenda.
Madam President, I move for the approval of the agenda with one change, and that's the removal of the agenda item, approval of minutes.
Thank you, Dr. Hardings. A second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Guestford. Any question on the approval of the agenda as amended? All those in favor? 4, and student with the majority. Okay. We passed the approval of minutes. Take that off. There's no one signed up for public comment. I don't see anyone other than staff here, so I don't think there's anyone who might like to approach the board. So we'll move on. There is no unfinished business, and that takes us to new business. Ms. Freeman, the consent agenda, we have 2 items today.
Good afternoon. I think I picked the right meeting to invite Scott to. Sitting on my right is Scott Bachtel. He's your new supervisor of purchasing.
Welcome, Scott.
Thank you. Good to
He'll
be here.
be presenting these bids in the future. I will be hopefully visiting with my grandchildren somewhere.
Good for you.
There are 2 items for your consideration this afternoon. The first is the results of our solicitation and selection of a bidder for our electricity contract. This will secure a good price for electricity purchases system-wide for a 3-year period, starting with the November meter read date of our meters. The term coincides with the last bid that we did for electricity supply. We did have a unanimous award selection, and that contract is recommended for award to Direct Energy. And we'll draw your attention that the price is lower than our current price, so we were pleased with the result there. Second item on the agenda is the system-wide Microsoft software purchase, and that is recommended to be executed to Bell Technologic. And we're here if you have any questions.
Thank you very much, Ms. Freeman. Is there a motion?
Move to approve the purchase of the Microsoft software to Bell Technologic at $179,559.80, and electricity to the EDC for ACB, Allegheny County Board of Education, Garrett County Board of Education, Washington County Board of Education, RFP number 2016-63, at an estimate, what is it, police of 0.05753?
Correct.
Thank you. Per kilowatt hour.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Mr. Ridenhour. A second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Guestford. Any questions? Comments?
Just one
Yes.
One
Dr.
comment on the
Hardings.
electricity bid. It looks great. Glad to see it's below the estimate. I think there's a 0 missing after the decimal point on the difference there. Not that it matters. We got it for 4/10 of a cent less than what our estimate was, not 4 cents less, which would have been fabulous, actually.
Sorry about that.
We'll take the 4.
But we'll take the
We're voting on the
4
4 cents. Yeah.
I mean, the 4/10 doesn't sound like much, but it's, what, 7% or so below what we estimated it, which is a great savings for the system. So thank you to the team who went about securing that for the system. And Ms. Freeman, thank you again for your many years of service to Washington County Public Schools. And thank you for all you've done, and I wish you nothing but happiness and relaxation in your retirement. You've got big shoes to fill, but we look forward to working with you to make sure that we get the best value for our dollar in public education.
Thank you for your comments. I've enjoyed working for the board as well. Thank you very much.
How many years have you been with the school system?
9.
Very good. Yeah.
I was with Frederick Schools for 21 years before I came here, and Scott comes to the school system from Frederick Schools as well. So we've been working well together over the last week or so, and I'll be continuing to work with him through the end of the month. And so he should be well acclimated by the time I leave here.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you for that, and thank you for your years of excellent service. So,
Thank you.
any additional questions or comments? Okay, seeing none, the question is on Mr. Ridenour's motion. All those in favor? That's 4 with student concurring with the majority. Thank you and welcome again.
Thank you.
All right, that takes us to personnel. Mrs. Francisco, thank you.
Mrs. Brightman, members of the board, as discussed earlier in closed session, there are several personnel actions for your consideration and approval this afternoon.
Thank you. A motion, please.
Move to approve the personnel action as presented by Dr. Francisco, Ms.
Thank-
Francisco.
Thank you,
Sorry.
Mr. Ridenour.
Second.
Thank you. Dr. Hardings. All those in favor of personnel action as recommended. Abstention? Okay, that's 4 in favor, 1 abstention.
Thank you.
Motion passes. Thank you. That takes us to reports to the board. Let's start, Mr. Ridenour. Anything from curriculum and instruction?
We have had no meetings, and at this time, we haven't decided whether we need a meeting this month or not.
Okay, so you're not sure about July?
I'm not certain. at this point.
August is still
Yeah.
not
the
sure,
usual
or you
time.
may be on. Okay, Mr. Gessford, facilities.
Facilities have not met over the summer. We will not meet this month, but we do anticipate a July meeting. August meeting.
August meeting,
Yes, August meeting. So we will not meet in July.
got it. Human resources, Mrs. Francisco, do you know if there is a meeting scheduled, I think not in July, but one in August, or? So we don't know yet on August. Thank you. So we'll report on that our first meeting in August. Mrs. Fisher isn't here. She asked me to just give a brief summary of the policy review and development meeting that I attended with her as a board committee member on July 12th. Again, we were finishing up the fundraising policy, which has since gone onto the web page. We also discussed amending some of that language, and I believe those changes have been made to that online version. Also, we reviewed a proposed letter that has gone out since then to principals, teachers, parent associations, booster clubs. I believe all of my board colleagues received an email from Mr. Trotta, our liaison, giving you a copy of the letter that went out. We also had, 3 members of the public who attended the meeting to offer comments on the proposed fundraising policy changes, and we have been receiving some other emails and feedback, which was the whole purpose of putting this out there on the fundraising policy. And the timeline on that, I think, was also shared with board colleagues. Our second item of discussion was a very preliminary discussion, basically seeking information from staff and from the task force regarding the diversity task force and how the board may be looking at changing that committee setup or task force. The next meeting of the committee will be July 26th at 9 a.m. Here in the board conference room, and those meetings are are open and an agenda goes out prior to that meeting. Okay, any other reports from any board?
Student government, yeah.
Yes, ma'am. See, you're down there.
Student government is currently planning our leadership retreat, which is August 3rd and 4th. Students are to contact their high school or middle school advisors if they are interested in attending.
Very good. Okay. If there are no other ones, that takes us to future agenda item. The only thing I would remind the public and my colleagues, again, for the month of August, we've moved our meetings from the usual first and third Tuesdays to the second and fourth Tuesdays. So that will be August 9th for our first meeting. That is still a daytime meeting as usual. And then the 23rd of August will be our second August meeting, and that will go back to an evening meeting rather than daytime. We are working to confirm a joint meeting with the county commissioners on August 23rd. That is not confirmed as of today, but when we hear that, we'll let everyone know as soon as possible. We also do have a work session on August 9th, so if everyone will please note that it does start at 9 a.m., so we have a little bit earlier start time at our next meeting. So, board member comments. Ms. Greenwald, would you like to start?
I have nothing. Thank you.
Okay. Dr. Hardings?
No comments today.
Mr. Guestford?
I have nothing.
Mr. Ridenauer? Okay, very good. That, I think our meeting took all of 13 minutes. So this must be a new record. But again, we do need to meet during the summer, particularly July. I know a lot of folks are on vacation, but it's important to move ahead with personnel and consent agenda during this time so that we can be prepared and fully staffed for the beginning of school in August. So if there's nothing else, we are at the end of our agenda and we are adjourned. Thank you.